Hello friends, my name is Emile. Just before we get into today's episode of the Gran Turismo 3 Let's Play, I just thought I'd take this time to explain to you that the quality won't be as good as it usually is. This is because the Elgato corrupted my recordings, gameplay, voiceover, everything. So what I've had to do is go through the live stream that I did for these two episodes and essentially clip the episode together with the YouTube editor. It doesn't look anywhere near as good as it usually would quality-wise. It's still very much watchable. But it just doesn't look as good as it usually would, so I do apologise for that. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. I've rectified the issue now, so it shouldn't happen in the future, but unfortunately these two episodes were lost, so I do apologise for that. Without further ado, though, let's get into today's episode. Hello friends, my name is Emile, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 26, and in today's episode we're going to be tackling the Beetle Cup in the Beginners League. Now, I have already had one crack at this, and it didn't end particularly well. So, what we're going to be doing is having another crack at it, and I'm not going to learn my lesson. I'm just going to go for the stock Beetle again. However, I am going to upgrade the ever-living crap out of this thing. You see, what I didn't know about this race is the only thing that can show up to it is cup cars, which is a bit unfortunate. So, yeah, we are going to need to upgrade the car quite a lot. Anyways, so we're going to do that. I'm not going to go for the 70 grand NA tune because it's ridiculously expensive. So we are just going to go for that. However, I'm going to properly upgrade this car. Last time I was like, oh, I only need like a NA tune, maybe a racing computer and some sports tyres and it'll be fine. And this time it's like, nope, we are just going to throw all of the things onto this car and hope to God that it does make us better. So, I don't want those. I want some of these. Don't want to go full super softs. I think I'll go medium soft because there was quite a lot of understeer in this vehicle. To count that as well, we will have the not that. We will have semi-racing suspension. Brakes seemed alright last time I drove it, so we will go for that. No, I'm not buying the RSI because I refuse to buy the RSI. Basically, it's the way I'm rolling on this. Anyways, I want that. I want that. I don't really want to go for full stage 3 weight reduction. Hello Matt P, welcome to the stream. He's pretending he doesn't have enough to buy the NA tuning. It's not like I don't have enough, I'm just saying it's a bit pointless. I'm going to put the triple clutch on here just because, why not? Probably will be quite helpful, and this stuff won't really matter. So, let's try this again. We are running quite a lot more power this time. So hopefully this is going to go well. This is going to be the new Beetle Cup, yes. So there we go. Anyways, there is 5 races in this league. Rome Circuit, Grand Valley Speedway, Seattle City Circuit Reverse, Test Course, and Monte Carlo. We start, of course, with the Rome Circuit for the first race of the championship. Okay, I need to actually turn the fucking things off the car first before I start opening my mouth. I'm not using the RSI, and if you're gonna go, I'm just gonna fucking delete. Anyways. Okay, so here we are on the grid. You may have noticed a slight issue. Yeah, there's only Beetle Cup cars in this race. I didn't know that. I thought it was just like, oh, the Beginners League will just have the, Beginners League will just have the standard Beetles and it'll all be good, kind of like the Yaris Cup, but no. Nope, it's all racing Beetles, so let's see how well we do here with a boatload more power. He doesn't want to, he's just showing off the 9 million credits. Clearly! Oh god, that's one of the slight cons of racing suspension. No, the reason I don't want to use the RSI is because I like to use a different car for every championship and I don't want to be using the same car for every championship. So there's another Beetle Cup, we'll probably use the RSI for that, and I think there's one more, and in that case I will probably use the Beetle Cup car, provided I can get one, at least. Anyways, we do seem to be doing a hell of a lot better in this race over the last one. I'm putting most of that down to in fact, I did go, well, I personally thought I went a little crazy with cup cars. This is why I hate this cup. Yeah, this cup is now probably my least favourite over the Yaris Cup. The Yaris Cup I used to not like just because it was like, oh hey, every single car is basically fully upgraded in this event. But, you know, when we did it, it wasn't too bad. Well, as this Beetle Cup is apparently the worst one of the lot. I don't know about the TT Cup, just because, For the TT Cup, I was like, whatever, kill it. A racing Beetle, pick one. Well, I mean, technically I am racing a Volkswagen Beetle. Admittedly, I do love how they went with possibly the worst Volkswagen Beetle they put in the game, or the worst Beetle available, which is the 2-litre, 115 horsepower naturally aspirated one. I believe these were available with a 1.8 turbo from the TT, and I think that was actually around sort of when they introduced this body style. I believe there was 2 engines, this and that. I think there was also a diesel. I suppose it could have been worse. Could have been a Volkswagen diesel. We all know what happens with those things. Anyways, we are definitely winning this time though, as we've still got understeer in our Beetle. Our mighty yellow Beetle. Also, you may notice bought it in yellow, mostly because I went with purple in GT2, so I decided I didn't want to reiterate myself over that, and also because London Racer exists and I find that funny. Anyways, 71% completion right now. Nice. I think I'm currently sat at 20, well, about 28%, I think this game is. It's episode 26. I think this Let's Play is due to go up to about 100 episodes, so yeah. What I can tell you is by the end of it, though, we will have 100% completion, and that'll all be glorious and all the rest of it, so yeah. Anyways. Mighty yellow Beetle. This shouldn't be too long a cup, to be fair. It's only 5 races, so it is very similar to the TT and Yaris Cup. The only difference, of course, is that the cup cars are forever foreshadowing me. And unlike, I think the Yaris one I won pretty considerably. The TT one I know I absolutely destroyed because, well, I fully upgraded that thing. This one not so much. Also, test course might be an issue, just come to think of it, because 5-speed car. That is slightly worrying, but I won't worry about it. Beetle isn't... The worst bit about it is this Beetle isn't even that slow. It's a pretty quick car now. Yeah, it does give me some worries for test course. Maybe that would just be a case of not winning that race, and then me just going back and doing it later, potentially. PC has had a very sad and killed my browser. You don't get on with your PC, do you, particularly well? Anyways. There we go. That is the standings after the first race. We did win, so that's good. And there's the total points and all the rest of it. Of course, it's only the first race, so it's nothing particularly interesting. We are going to get 5 grand though, so that is lovely and jubbly. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Moving on to the next race, which is obviously over here. Yeah, not the... I was kind of hoping that it'd just be normal Beetles, but, you know... The game does like to throw challenging at you, so can't fault it for that, I guess. Anyways, this next race is at the Grand Valley Speedway. Yeah, test course. Test course may be a case of trying to get one of the other Beetles to push me. That might be an idea. As we get a lot of wheel spin off the line, and then it eventually bottoms out and is all lovely and nice. I have no idea why they have the Beetle Cup and the TT Cup, considering, like, this and that aren't too different. No, it's doing more than 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour is 160 kilometers. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out, because Grand Valley's got a pretty decently long straight here, so I guess we'll find out what the actual top speed of this car is. I use the RSI. Every single other time I've done this cup, admittedly I didn't remember it particularly well, but I do remember using the RSI because the RSI is just the easy way to do it. But I like challenge, I like pushing myself, I like winning races with impossible odds, which to be fair, this race, yeah, didn't start particularly well, but you know, it'll end better than it started. It's not a terrible handling car. I mean, sure, it's got a lot of understeer, but it's not that bad, to be fair, like, for a Beetle. Anyways, I think half of that's down to the suspension, to be honest with you, just eliminating most of the body roll in this vehicle. And of course, we have the slightly nicer grippy tyres now. Maybe I should have gone for super softs, just to ultimately fully cheat it, but, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, as we rock our way through a cliff face, because Grand Valley Speedway is supposed to be very pretty. Indeed, it is very pretty. It is a pretty course. I like to challenge maxed out Beetles. It's not maxed out, I didn't put the 70 grand camshafts on this thing or whatever the NA tuning actually is. I believe it's just cams, I'd imagine. Anyways. Come on, we can do this. Right, we will find out what our top speed on the mighty Beetle is coming down here. So that's 100. It is still climbing speed. So I mean, if I was to put an upgraded gearbox in this, it wouldn't be doing too badly. 200, 206 is when this car will top out. So not the greatest. Again, it might be a case of, I think that's like 120. There we go. I don't know. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It will be fine. You know, worst case scenario, I lose the test course race, because I think I can just come back to this without restarting the entire championship again, so... excuse me. I should have really upgraded the gearbox to be fair, but whatever. Doesn't really matter all that much. We'll be fine. We'll think of a solution. Anyways, enough about the race at test course. We're doing the race at Grand Valley Speedway now, which is not a particularly great course to be doing in the Beetle, because the Beetle... Well, actually, to be fair, I don't particularly like any race around Grand Valley. There's only one race that I don't mind around Grand Valley, and that's probably the endurance race, because that's all just JGTC cars, and they're pretty swagging to drive. Still curious to see how the endurance racing is going to work in this game. Of course, we did them in GT1 and GT2. But GT2 and GT1 had more arcadey physics, and also they probably did tyre wear and all the rest of it a bit differently. Granted, I believe this game does it differently to pretty much every other Gran Turismo game, because they did the other stuff. Yeah, anyways. By the time I actually got my career going, hard to start with 18 grand of it, so I had to use the easy cars. Yeah. I mean, I've got people who keep commenting on these videos like, oh, why don't you just go and, like, do, like, the win now, you know, you've got good cars for it, or you've got the money for it, and why don't you go get a Formula GT now? You can get, you know, you can get a Formula GT by 15% completion. It's like, yes, but I'm playing through the game in order, because order is good, and also without order, it'd just be all over the place, so, yeah, I do like going through the game in order, and people can sort of keep an eye on where we are if the game's in order as well, so that helps. Anyways, we didn't do too bad in that race. Nothing huge happened. I believe those guys have probably switched around a little bit, so total points. Yeah, the purple car is in fact in last. Apparently everyone has 5 points, pretty much, in the bottom three, and then the other guys have a couple more points than that. Anyways, on to the next race. I started with an MX-5. MX-5's one of the better starter cars to go for. Admittedly, if you can win the one in the license test, that is the best starter car to go with. But again, I like to do things differently, and the PT Cruiser certainly is not a bad starting car. So, you know, that car does make everything a bit easy. Oh, actually, no. The PT Cruiser, I believe, is actually the car with the best power to weight ratio of all of them. Admittedly, the worst handling of all of them. But, you know, it served us well enough. It beat our first few couple of races, which is nice. There we go. Oh, God. On the brakes. Almost went up the inside of the blue car. I am going to get a better run than him, though, so that is good. Also, again, Seattle Circuit, Beetles, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Mind you, they did sell these things in America. Can't remember how well they did, though. There we go. Started with Vits because I wanted to win the Vits race first. It didn't give me enough money, though. The Vits race doesn't give you a whole lot of money. Or a decent prize card, to be fair, so... Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend doing the Vits race first. If you're going to do any... I don't know. Personally, like I said, I'd go for the PT Cruiser just because you can earn rear-wheel drive cars and so on. Basically, the game tries to coax you into using a PT Cruiser anyway. You can tell just with the way the event structure is laid out and the way it sort of gives you front-wheel drive. Oh, sorry. When you do like the front-wheel drive challenge, it gives you the rear-wheel drive car. It does want you to start out in front-wheel drive vehicles. To be fair, the Yaris is certainly not a bad choice, although you do get one as a prize car, so I don't know. Either way, we are going to go around the outside of the purple Beetle, which is currently running this particular race. Which is good. I like to see a purple car win the race. Of course, I prefer to see a yellow... Oh, God. I prefer to see my yellow car win the race, but, yeah, purple car, I have no issues with... Can we get around you? Can I get a pull on you? Yeah. I do have a bit more acceleration than these guys. I didn't get the MX-5 from the license test because I couldn't do it. Yeah, that's understandable. But, yeah, the MX-5, the NA, I probably wouldn't recommend, just because the NA is really down on power compared to some of the other vehicles, and also, I mean, granted, I think it's the lightest car you can buy, but it just wouldn't be what I'd recommend. Admittedly, with a few upgrades in it, it is by far and away the better car over the PT Cruiser, so in terms of running a long-range strategy, or a long-game strategy, using the same car, the MX-5 is probably one of the more versatile, but, yeah. Took me an hour to do it, I broke that day, Jesus. Yeah, in case you didn't know, by the way, I'm going to be playing a video at the top of this, but I do have the gold licenses now, so I have cars. We'll probably be using one in the next episode, to be honest with you. One of the prize cars that we won, so... Oh, God. Not what I wanted. That isn't too bad, though. First place in this race would be kind of advantageous. To be fair, I could probably get it. I've just better through the corners than this purple car. It's just me personally, I'm a worse driver than the guy in the purple car. We are going to get a run on you there. Try and block the defensive line. There we go. Lovely jubilee. Right, I will try not to take too much speed down this area, because that's of course what broke us last time. Just taking too much speed down here, so ease up on it a little bit. Purple car is looking for a way around us, but he is Gran Turismo AI, so as long as we take the tighter lines... Yep, there we go. We've pretty much won this race. So that isn't too bad. I will certainly take that. I like how it's got the little fog lights going as well. Like, hey, look at me. I need more lights because I'm a big car, right? Even though I've only got one reverse light because A. Anyways. Purple car did, of course, get second place, which should boost the purple car up a little bit in the rankings. Where we sat. Yep, purple car is now at the top. The white and grey car are fighting over 5th and 6th. And the red and blue car are tied on points. So there you go. GT3 getting remastered, I doubt it, just because of the way car licensing and stuff works. But you never know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I doubt it. I'd prefer GT2 to be remastered, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, just because Gran Turismo 3 probably my least favourite of the bunch, but there you go. Anyways, test course. Alright. I think this is the race where my car might fall down, but we'll have to see. Maybe the Cup cars top out at stupid times as well. We'll just have to wait and see. Although, admittedly, I'm not hugely... what's the word? I'm not getting GT Sport just because I haven't got a PS4, and I don't really want to buy a PS4 for GT Sport just because it doesn't really look like my sort of game. Answering the speed question, yep, okay. Oh well. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I should probably just do that instead of it constantly dropping speed. Just keep it around, I think it's 206 it tops out at, so yeah, 206. So I've never really liked the way Gran Turismo deals with cars hitting the rev limiter, sort of when it just stops them moving dead. It isn't my favourite thing in the world, but there you go. Oh, it's lovely weather, isn't it? Don't really know what to say. Yeah, we're gonna lose this race. Feel free to skip through it if you like, or to chocolate on your biscuit. Join our club. Get a cup car to push you. There's no way I could get... You saw off the line, I just can't get in front of them. Like, this car does have a straight line speed advantage over them, but I just can't... I'm just going to let the car bounce off the limiter because I don't really care. You can just see off the line, I just haven't got the straight line speed to match them, essentially, so there's no way I could get in front of them. Even like the last car in the pack, I couldn't. Unless I was to do qualifying, but even still. It would be much better if I just did it. Should have put a gearbox in it, really. Because I knew test course was going to be a course as well. It just slipped my mind at the time, but you know, it happens. Yeah, you're not going to win. Yeah, doesn't bother me. I'll come back to this race and do it again at some point, I'd imagine. Unless I don't get a prize car, in which case we'll do this race again in the... Yeah. If I need to do the race again, what I'll probably do is just cut it. So, you know, whatever. Anyways, as we continue on this perplexual motion of just bouncing off the limiter. I'm a little bit pissed off at myself for not putting the gearbox in it, but nah, I mean, if I need to do it again, I'll probably use just the prize car and do it that way. That's if I get a prize car. If I don't get a prize car, then whatever. Yep, well aware of that. Gearbox would have been nice. But whatever. Doesn't particularly bother me, if I'm being honest, because whatever. Like I said, I can just come back to this race. Once you've completed the championship, I don't know if it works like this in this game. I know in GT, one of the Gran Turismo games, you won't. Okay. Well, in that case, then I'll do it off camera and then come back to this race and go, "Hey, look at the thing I won. It was great." So, I don't know. I don't know if it works if you get a prize car for winning the championship or if you get a prize car for just golding the events. If it's golding the events, then I'll just do it off camera quickly and go, "Hey, look what I got." And if I don't, then I won't do that. You know. Anyways, the mileage is being racked up on our Beetle here. Just having a look at that odometer down there. Yep, 40 miles. GC's vision of purgatory. Yeah, just slowly chasing other Beetles around. I've just switched to the third-person camera, so I guess it gives people something more to look at. I mean, Test Track isn't really a proper track. Even still, I wouldn't say it's the worst track in the game. My least favourite track in the game is probably Grand Valley Speedway, just because I don't find it particularly exciting. Like the wind in this game isn't that difficult anyway, so I have a solution to that. Don't you worry. When we eventually get to Like the Wind, I will be winning Like the Wind. I can assure you that. You do for the championship. Okay. I know... I can't remember which Gran Turismo game it is. I know for one of them it doesn't work like that. 39 seconds ahead. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I doubt anyone's really going to sit through this anyways. I'm assuming they'll probably just skip to the end or something, so... Whatever. This is basic ergonomics, word life. Anyways. As we dawdle along slowly. I have a YouTube notification. Maybe I should check that while I'm doing this because there's nothing else to... So I'll do... Oh, RCR's uploaded a video, I assume, or done something. I don't know. Anyways, I hate the fact they've changed the YouTube notification system. To make it more bollocks now, essentially, because I've said before, for certain channels I have things that it's supposed to notify me when I upload, but like now it's doing it through YouTube notifications as well as email. It's like I don't need two places to tell me to go watch the newest RCR or fail race video. Like I can just do it from my email. It's cool. You don't need to tell me. Like the Wind takes too long. It's only about 20 minutes, to be fair. I don't hate Like the Wind, that's the thing. To be fair, it'll probably be quite relaxing, considering I've got, I think it's 10 laps test course in a VITS to do anyway, so... Yeah, it gets worse. Anyways, as we finally approach the finish line on this rather disappointing day of racing, across the line. 54 seconds. Lovely. Right, we'll have to see what that does for the championship. Of course, it won't knock us off any point of the championship. We are still going to be in first place. Purple car looks like it's going to take it home, though. And that's cool. I get a keyring. Always wanted one of those. And we move on to the final race of today, which takes place at the Monte Carlo course. Of course. So, I think these are basically exactly the same events we did in one of the championships. Was it the TT or the Yaris? I'm fairly certain I've seen almost all of these. Yeah, but does that turn off email notifications as well? Because I'd still kind of like getting the email notifications through. Just because in the case of RCR, it tells me straight away what they're doing. And in the case of Fail Race, it tells me whether it's worth watching the video or not. Which, if it's like, just not Forza, then it's probably not worth watching. I'm sorry, I just don't enjoy watching new games. I enjoy watching some of the old game content though. But, anyways, I'm assuming we are going to see a new winner in this Monte Carlo race, unless the purple car's going to push it. Or I'm going to push the purple car out of contention. I don't know. This race sucks almost as much as John Cena. But John Cena doesn't suck, but ignoring that. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. A Peugeot sign. Peugeot sign. I don't know. So, yeah, Monte Carlo. Interesting track this. Not a huge fan of it personally. I know a lot of people... oh, fair enough. I know a lot of people like the Monte Carlo track because, oh, it's in F1, but it's not really my thing, if I'm being honest. Or, I think this is Monaco, isn't it, technically? Yeah, it's Monaco. I don't know why it calls it... Am I just being an idiot and calling it the Monte Carlo track? It is Monaco, is I don't fucking know. Anyways, Côte d'Azur. That's what the game actually calls it, so we'll call it that. Yeah, not my favourite track, if I'm being honest. I don't particularly like city circuits, but again, as I've said before, compared to some of the clunkers they brought in GT5 with the city circuits, this one really isn't too bad. Or Rally de Postiaro in Forza. I really dislike that track as well, so, you know. This is the least fitting race for Monaco. It really is. It would also help if I could stop crashing into walls. Also, for some reason, every time you do a race at Monaco, it's always 3 laps. I don't know why. Monaco for me is meh. Yeah. It's not really a fan favourite. It has been around since GT3, though. I mean, it's been in every single game to my knowledge. Unless you're talking like GT5 Prologue or something like that, or GT... concept, of course, it's not in that either, but like the main track, the main sort of series, and the main, yeah. I'm kind of surprised. I thought people would really like Monaco, but hearing other people don't is nice. It's like whenever I say about Seattle Circuit, I'm not a huge fan of Seattle Circuit, but people usually go, yeah, how can you not like Seattle? Seattle's the best course in the game, or something along those lines. I don't particularly care for the Seattle circuit, if I am being perfectly honest. Favourite city track is Hong Kong. Hong Kong in GT4 was alright. I just remember that blasted license test with the MGF, I believe it was, where it had traction control on when in a mid-engined rear drive car like an MGF. That basically means power is cut through every single corner. I didn't like that license test, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Although I've learned my lesson. For when I eventually approach GT4, what I'll probably do is go get the... just go do licenses in... and get whatever time I want. And then go back and fully complete them at some other point. Or just use an action replay. But ignore that. Because I'll probably leave them in the GT4 Let's Play just so I can say, hey, this is complete Let's Play, like with this. I wasn't going to leave the license tests in for GT3, but... people are like, you know, it's probably a good idea, and then you can say you've 100% completed the game, and it's like, you got a point. So, anyways, as I keep smashing into the walls, but I don't care because this Beetle sucks, and I want it to go to hell. I don't like this car, gotta be honest. Probably, I wouldn't say it's my least favourite from doing these. Gave up on that test. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's my least favourite from these, like the Beetle, the TT, and the Yaris, and the other cars that we've used for sort of these championships, and the Altezza. The Altezza was by far and away the best of all of them. And I do try to change gear. Doesn't always work though. Mount a curb. Mount another curb. Drop the power a bit. Come around here. There we go. Smack bang into the wall. Break the walls down. Break down the walls. Anyways. Lap 3 of 3. We are almost done with the Beetle racing, which is good because I just hate Beetle racing. It would be nice if my controller would actually change gear. There we go. Starting to change gear now. Just gonna basically smack it. I apologise if you can hear it in the background. I really need to get myself a proper PlayStation 2 controller again. It would be quite nice to have a DualShock 2, but there you go. I'll probably find one for cheap on eBay or Amazon or one of those things. I think they took Seattle out because, yeah, I've heard the course doesn't actually exist anymore, and that's the reason they took it out. I wasn't a huge fan of it anyway, so I can't really say I'm particularly, you know, oh, they should bring it back. So, but he's not a bad wrestler, and he doesn't control how he's bugged. But whatever, I'm gonna ignore that. Anyways, that's the results of that race. The purple car wins another race, which I do believe means the purple car is going to win over those guys. Red car in third place. The white and silver car actually managed to mount and come back, while the blue car gets a shock last place. So there you go. That's all that, as we move on to the championship congratulations screen. 10 grand. I'll take 10 grand. And prize car. I want that thing over there. I think these are all exactly the same car. Yep, they're all Beetle RSIs. So yeah, there you go. That's the reason I didn't buy a Beetle RSI, because you win from this bleeding event anyway. So what would be the point? So there we go. Anyways, and yeah, I kind of need to select that race manually, so I'll probably go back and do that at some point. Anyways, that is it for this episode of the... Oh, actually, just before I end this off, I do, of course, as always, want to show off the prize car we won. There it is. 225 horsepower, all-wheel drive. There you go. Also, these cars, I'm going to put a cinematic up to explain these. For the people watching the stream, you won't know about these, but these are all the gold license winning things, and I added a little nice movie to the start of this episode that should hopefully explain all of that. Anyways, that's our current statistics, 24.8% of the way through, so next episode we should reach 25%. Speaking of next episode, join me for it. Thank you all very much for watching, friends. My name has been the Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.